Welcome to DocFlowers. This is our Nutrition 101. We're going to give you some basic guidelines, basic nutrition, basic understanding of products, nutrition, well-being, how to be healthier, how to have a better life, and how can we possibly benefit your life in a better way. So my name is Josh Woodcook. I'm the president of DocFlowers, and I am also the 6th generation legacy of DocFlowers. DocFlowers was my great-great-great-grandfather. That's the reason of the name of DocFlowers. And my grandfather was Isaac Newton Curry. He was DocFlowers. The Native Americans in the United States nicknamed him DocFlowers because he healed with herbs and whole foods. So he'd have this big bundle of herbs and whole foods he'd bring in. The Native Americans, when he was sick, he would either go up to Canada, go to different states, different communities, and he would heal them. Now, my grandmother taught me that not only could he heal them, but he healed everybody. She said there was not one single person that didn't come to your grandfather that did not get well. Now, who can say that? What a legacy. I am very proud. I'm proud to be here, and I am proud to be in that legacy, and I'm proud that that is my family and that is my grandfather. I hope to land this down into 7th, 8th, 9th generation myself. The way I've structured this company is that it will last 50 years, and we are a product-based company about truth. So what you're going to hear today is about the difference of these products, some little things about these products. If you'd like to know more about it, please contact the person that got to you this video. And but let's proceed forward. Grandpa what he was so brilliant at was making the herbal formulas better. So it wasn't just a hodgepodge mess of putting herbs together in a bucket and shaking it all about and say, there, we have a formula. But it's not that. It's better than that. See, it's like this. I'm a car guy, so I'm going to describe it to you in car knowledge. If you're going to build a car to sell to the people, which is what most every other nutritional company or supplement company or network marketing company or any other kind of company does, they build a car for what they think you want and what you'll buy, right? Oh, look, we put this on it for you. Oh, look, we put this on it. People said that they wanted it, so we built it for them. If you want a car that's going to set a record, whether it be safety, speed, acceleration, racing, whatever it is, then it is purpose-built, meaning you have an end result that tells you what you want to have. So that end result, say we want the car to drive 300 miles an hour. If we want the car to drive 300 miles an hour, then we have to build the car for its function. Okay, so the form will follow the function. It doesn't matter what people will buy. They'll buy it because they want it to go 300 miles an hour. My products are the same way. So having the form follow the function, meaning we have to achieve something. We're not trying to make it flowery. We're not giving it a nice paint job because that's what you want. We're not giving it the cushiest seats, but the unreliable drivetrain. We're giving it safety. If Mercedes has been safe before safe was important. So what they did is they created anti-lock brakes. 10 years later, they allowed other people to use their patent. But see, people didn't know they needed anti-lock brakes. But now you wouldn't buy a car without it. You needed a safety cage. But then when they developed it, 10 years later, everybody else started being able to use it. But a lot of companies put those kind of things in there so they can say it on the label. Look, we have anti-lock brakes. Well, yeah, those anti-lock brakes stink, but they're anti-lock brakes. But if you want the best, then it's form follows function. Meaning, if we want it to be safe, the car is going to look a certain way because we're making it safe first. If we want it to go 300 miles an hour, we have to have it be a certain amount. It has to have like 1,800 horsepower. It has to be able to stay cool. It has to be able to stay down. It has to have all these things. All these achievable things are functionalities. Why I'm telling you this is that my products are the same. I don't make a product that's flowery. I don't do a hype and baloney product thing. I don't do a company that's based on hype. I don't do what somebody says is really cool. It's the new thing. You need to put this magical berry in here that comes from this part of Malaysia or right below the Mount Everest in this certain berry, and it's only picked 2 weeks out of the year, and it will cure everything. I don't believe in magic berries. I believe in nutrition. I believe in giving the body every element it's supposed to have. Because I don't believe there's one part of the world that's any better than the other parts of the world. Every part of the world has something beautiful to offer. So every part of the world has a berry. So the place that wants the magic berry, you know what they want? They want our oranges. They want our oranges, but we want their magic berries. But they want our magic oranges. The point is that they're all good. So we have to find out the best of the best and put the best of the best into something in a calibrated, synergistic formula format my grandfather had to develop and make it work perfectly together. When we do that, you'll have something that gives you every element that is built for your body, meaning all 106 minerals, over 54 vitamins, all 6 forms of vitamin B6, all 8 forms of vitamin E, whole spectrum vitamin C, all your omega-3, 6, and 9s in a perfect balance, your calcium, magnesium in a live plant perfect balance, your copper to zinc in a perfect balance. When you have these, you'll assimilate everything so much better than you've ever been able to do before because it's not synthetic. It wouldn't be chemically derived. It wouldn't be brewed or developed on coal tar or petroleum products or turpentine. It wouldn't be a mold function that we're going to use afterwards and glean something from it. We're not going to. It would be something live, whole foods with every element. That's what I developed when I developed the One Greens. And that's why it's our #1 selling product. And that's why it's so important. This is form follows function. I had a goal. The goal was to hit every single nutrient in a perfect balance, perfectly unified, perfectly synergistic, in a most complex formula I've ever made in my life. And I've made some complex formulas. This is the product. This is the base to everything else I'm ever going to tell you about. This is the first product, the one, that I would tell you. This is the one product every single person needs. Because it's the one product and the only product in the world that has every one of these things from whole foods. Nothing even as an extract, because I don't like extracts. Everything's whole food, because whole food already has everything in it. Nothing is inorganic. Nothing is inert. Nothing is dead. Nothing is chemical derived. Nothing is extracted. There's no flow agents. There's no fillers, nothing. That's all you're getting. There's no flavor. There's no sweetener. It has flavor. It's not good. It's not tasty. It's not a candy bar, okay? So, but it's nutritious. It's what your grandmother or your mother would tell you. Now, honey, you need to make sure you take your greens every morning. You know why? Because she knows best. They do. You know why? They're the nucleus of the family. They're the ones that keep us all together. They're the ones every morning making sure we get the nutrition. That's why your mom or your grandmother or whomever is taking care of you made sure you had a good meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's why they did it. They did it because they love you. And I do it because I love you. And that's why I think it's important to have everything in a whole food state. I'm going to tell you some people that back me up on that. It's kind of interesting. There's just a couple that I'm going to mention. And one of my favorites is an older gentleman. When I say older, he's 400 years old. And his name was Pascal. Pascal said, and I have to quote this exact, okay? So Pascal, who was a brilliant man, and he said, if you take every element that God's ordained for this body, no disease will harm you. What kind of ludicrous behavior is this 400 years ago? What kind of person would say such a thing? Except for then it becomes provable. What Pascal said then, Linus Pauling then proved later. Linus Pauling, 2-time Nobel Prize winner, 2-time, okay? That's pretty impressive. Not too many people won the Nobel Prize, and not too many people win it twice. So Linus Pauling says and I have to quote this exact, you can trace every ailment, every sickness, every disease to a vitamin and mineral deficiency. It's kind of the same thing that Pascal said, isn't it? So that's part of my inspiration. Part of my inspiration. The other thing is I talk to health food owners, health food store owners, and what they'd say is, and what people always said was, why is it you can't have a vitamin and mineral together? Why is it you don't have something that has everything? Why is it there's not something that has it? And everybody goes, oh, well, these vitamins will kill these minerals and these minerals will kill this vitamin. These two can't be together. Isn't that interesting? Because when they're in plants where they're naturally derived from, they are together. There's minerals with vitamins. Isn't it interesting that the number one choice of herbs for calcium already have a 2-to-1 ratio calcium magnesium? Isn't it interesting that the number one choices for copper already have the perfect zinc balance? Isn't that fancy? And iron. Isn't it interesting that they already have it? So what I'm telling you is that was the inspiration, is I made one big thing. Now, I could end it on this. That's the company. That's it. That's what we have. This is the company. And we would do fantastic. We could. We really could. Couldn't we? Because have you ever heard anything else? Never. Never. The only other greens products you find ever, somebody goes, we've got barley grass. That's great. How complete is barley grass? It's not. What we have is in a perfect, unified, synergistic balance is your grasses, because that's the sprouted part, the top, not the glutinous part, not the protein part of the seed. So all these people that are fearful of their intolerances of proteins, we're not talking about that, because we're not grinding up wheat. We're not grinding up wheat flour. We bake bread. If you want wheat flour, go bake bread. I'd recommend it would be whole grain and sourdough and organic. That would be my recommendation to you. So can you find that? I don't know. I have my grandmother's old recipe, but I'm a terrible bread maker, so I don't make it. However, we're not using that part. We're using the sprouted part. You know why? Because sometimes they'll have as much as 400 times more nutrients once they sprout. Same with bean sprouts. Garbanzo beans are the highest in calcium. Black beans are the highest in iron. So what we want to do is we want to have the sprouted form of them. So we have this perfectly balanced, how much ratio of your grains to your legumes. See, that's important. It's imperative. It's over 4,000 years of knowledge right here. This is what I'm talking about. And I put it in this, in that perfect balance of the ratios for your grains to legumes, to your herbal support factor, to all your fruit complex, so all your magic berries. I had to put as many magic berries in there as possible, but only the ones that were most important. Only the most important ones. You know why? Somebody asked me once, why don't you have banana in there? Because banana is wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, banana is high in potassium, and you need potassium. This is true. We do need potassium. Let me ask you, sir, are bananas the number one most potent banana potassium balance? No, they're not. They're down lower, much lower. They taste good. They're probably one of the most tasty ones of the potassium balances, but they're not the number one. So we would have to get the number one. The other thing that you have to do, and I'm not trying to educate other companies because they won't be able to do it. Just telling you, you know why? It's too complicated and too expensive to make. I know, because even my manufacturers hate me. So I know how hard this is to make. I've been making this for 20 years. And this is the 5th rendition of it. And it's my best one yet. I'm telling you, this is the best one I've ever made. It's better. We have people track us down from 10 years ago when my products were in other companies. And they'll go, I've been wanting this. I found you. These are on people in the islands of the seas, somewhere in the South Pacific, finding me because they still want the product. Because a doctor brought it to them in their island and had a clinic and was selling my products. It's brilliant. This is even better than that. Better. It's better than I can even tell you it is. This is that much better than it was. So we don't have banana in it because banana is not number one. But here's the other thing. When I look at what has the most potassium, I have to also look at it because you got to remember, we're using $100 bills. Let me give it to you this way. Right now, they call up, your government calls you up and they say, we have to evacuate your area. You have to evacuate the whole side of your island, the whole side of your country. You can only take a shoebox full of money out of your bank account. Any more than a shoebox, a size 12 or a size 46. So you're going to take your shoebox and you can put all the money from your bank account into that shoebox. And then you have to get on a choo-choo train and go to the other side of your country. Let me ask you a question. Are you going to put $5 bills, $1 bills, or do you want to put $20 bills? Because you got to pack it full, right? Are they $20 bills, $50 bills? Or do you want to do the biggest bills? So you want to go $100 bills, right? So we're going to pack it full of the big, if they give us $1,000 bills, we'd put $1,000 bills in there, wouldn't we? Because it's condensed format. We have to have condensed money matter because we only have this much space. I only have this much space. You won't take 5 scoops a day. Neither would I. That would be crazy. So I give you 1 to 2 to 3 scoops. That's maximum. People on 3 scoops are usually because they're fighting something off. People on 2 scoops is because they just want to be blasted healthy in a happy mood. People on 1 scoops is because they're on a budget. Honestly. Because if not, you'd be. So I had to make a condensed formula, didn't I? I do it with everything. All the other formulas I tell you about, I do the same thing. So this is what I do. I don't want banana because banana is low. I want, and I won't use extracts, so we can't condense it with extracts because extracts take out things that you need. And I can explain that sometime. Maybe we can make a video on why I don't like extracts. And that would be a 5-minute clip, and we could do that. So we're going to take matter, and I have to have potassium at full strength. Top 3 potassium developers, right? But I also have to have magnesium and all these other things with it. So I want the one not only that's highest in potassium, but that's highest in potassium in as many things as I can find that overlaps other herbs and whole foods and nutrients. So that I have $100 bill products. If it's not a $100 bill, it doesn't go into our bottle, does it? It doesn't go in here if it's not a $100 bill, top of the line, most condensed amount of nutrients. When you do that, you do not make a dessert. You make something strong, potent, and sometimes not that tasty. It's the way it is. If it tastes good, it's probably not that good for you. If they're adding, just so you know, let me give you an idea. If you wanted sweetener, this is how big it would have to be with sweetener. If you wanted a flavor, I would have to have this much more flavor. Did you know that? 3 extra bottles. You would have 6 times the size of a bottle and 6 times the price to get something sweet and flavored. Why would I do that? Well, I could do it because it's cheap, couldn't I? But remember, we're designing something to go 300 miles an hour. We're designing something to go around the racetrack faster than anything else. We're designing something to be the safest, most efficient. If you could go 300 miles an hour and get 100 miles per gallon, that's what we're building. And be the safest car in the world for your kids and you and your wife. And the most reliable. All those things we have to do. So when we do that, we have to have the most condensed herbs, which are high-powered foods, the most condensed matter of sprouted grains and legumes, seaweeds, algae, all these, and they have to be perfectly synergistic, which means, see, you can't digest things if they're out of balance as well. You'll start having problems. So what I've done is, and this is the 4,000 years of information, because I've studied the Chinese medicine, I've studied the Ayurvedic medicine, I've studied the herbology courses, I've studied the Western nutrition, I've studied all these things, and I was taught starting at 11 years old from my grandmother of what my grandfather's principles were. By doing this and putting it all together, because my father told me, and I'm going to quote him directly, my father said, "You have a gift from God. You need to develop it and build it. You need to surround it with as much knowledge as you can find from anywhere in the world, and then serve mankind with it. Now, is that a good fatherly knowledge? Is that good advice? If your father told you that, would he be brilliant? Mine is. That's what it's about. I'm doing that right now. I'm serving you with my gift. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. It's much easier to get my products into other companies. Much easier for me. I can be retired on a beach. But what do you do if you won the $100 million lottery? You have a yacht in the Mediterranean and you're sitting out there getting tan? What are you doing? You're not serving anybody but yourself. You're not helping anybody. Oh yeah, I give money to charities. Fantastic. Why don't you get some actions going and put some work on the pavement? Put the money on the road. Okay? Stop this, start this. I always say, don't look, or my father used to tell me this, especially in dating and stuff like that. He said, don't listen to their mouths. Mouths lie. Watch their actions. Our actions tell the truth. My action is this. This is what I put and compound my time into. This is what I love doing. This is what I do for you and everybody that you know and everybody that they know and everybody that they know. That way, somebody 10 years from now will find us on a Mediterranean island somewhere or someplace in the South Pacific and say, I love this stuff. And I searched you out and I found you. We have people do it all the time. They'll see something on a doctor's office and they'll see this up on the shelf. And they go, I need that. What is it? My doctor's telling me this. And he goes, it's fascinating how many people draw to it. The young lady there in the white, the beautiful one next to the handsome guy there, she calls it the truth serum, or she calls it truth serum. She's right. It's a fascinating thing to watch people get on this. Put somebody on this every day for a month and watch what happens. I promise you, try me. Do it for a month and tell me the difference in your life. Tell me. Watch. You won't crave bad things as much. You will have more energy. You will feel better. My father got on it and his doctor goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm on this product right here. And he goes, and I didn't tell him it was yours. I didn't tell him it was my son, so he wouldn't think I was biased. So he gets on it and he says, and his doctor looks at it and reads the ingredients and says, this is fantastic. Keep taking it. He tasted it and he goes, this is excellent. My dad's, the lady that comes in and cleans his house said, what are you doing? You look so much better. You look like 15 years younger. He goes, I've just been taking this product of my son's. She goes, how do I get that? He goes, I don't know. Here's the customer service number. Call them. They'll help you. That's it. That's what he did. And you know what? Our customer service will love you right into it. And they'll help you with everything. They're beautiful. Okay. So, and please treat them with respect because they're wonderful people. And they're here because, like me, they're trying to help you. Okay. So this is why I'm here. This is what we've done. Linus Pauling proves it. Pascal said it 400 years ago. I just put it into a bottle. I actually did what they said. I just manifest it into a physical form. I'm doing what my father suggested, and I'm trying to help people. That's why I'm here. Every product I tell you about, I make it the same way. The most condensed amount of matter, $100 bills, if you will, with a end result as the goal. Let me tell you about some other ones. Now, the oldest formula in the family is the colon formula that I know of. I could be wrong. We won't know until I get to heaven. But the oldest formula that I know is the colon formula. You know why I know that? Because my grandmother told me it was his favorite formula. Why would that be his favorite formula? You know why? I think he said, and I'm going to quote, all problems start with your bowels, is what he said. Now, 40 years later, he was quoted by the guy that made graham flour, who said, the root of all problems, which is an exact quote of my grandfather, is the colon. Then, 100 years after my grandfather, Dr. Kellogg's, who created Kellogg's cereal brand, wanted to make a whole grain cereal with extra roughage, just like Professor Graham, that would clean the colon because he said, and I quote, quoting Grandpa, the root of all problems is in the colon. Why would they say such things? Let me explain. If you have a garbage can in your house, and you take the big garbage can, instead of having it out at the curb, you leave it in your kitchen, will it stink up your house? Yes, it will. It'll start stinking up to the back bedroom. It'll start stinking up the living room and the kitchen. If you didn't take it out every day to the big garbage can, it would really smell, wouldn't it? And by the end of the week, it would be bad. If you cook something and you have even vegetables start stinky if they're left in that. Now you think about this, we're at 98.6 degrees, perfect temperature for growing yuckiness. So think about what you eat chopped up in moisture down into your colon with digestive acids and enzymes being added to it all the way down through, goes into your large intestines and then sits there and bakes and ferments and gets yucky and gets stinky. Okay, so Grandpa said the root of all problems is in the colon. So he created this colon formula. This is my 5th or 6th time revamping it. This is the best one I've ever done. I was waiting for this, and I did this in a pretty nice manner. Most of the time it takes me a few years to get one. This one I got done in less than a year. All I do is I get more strict on the ingredients. The ingredients stay the same. I just change the inner format of tighten it up. That's all. Structure, development, that's all. That's what I'm doing. I'm changing minute structure and development parts, going from 1.2 parts to 1.2341 parts, something like that. I can do it now that 10 years ago I couldn't. Okay. I can do it because the scales have gotten better. See, before I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it as well as I was capable of 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, because the scales did not have the ability to move the decimal point far enough so I could use a more for making things work perfectly. See, because in plants, they're already that way. They're already 0.0000001 difference, and I have to duplicate that. So that's what I do. So the colon product, which we call Colon Clean, is developed with Grandpa's system of the herbology. So it's not just a hodgepodge mess. It's very accurate and precise, using the herb's intrinsic values perfectly placed and balanced in a synergistic way so that they give you the best results with the least amount of products. Does that make sense? Great. So what Grandpa did was he made it so that you would have a lubricative laxatives from high-powered herbs, stimulant laxatives, which is the least amount of it, from high-powered herbs, and things that would kill gram-negative and gram-positives, bacteria in the bowels, which is very important, as well as a cleaning mechanism of high-powered herbs and whole foods that would go through and clean the wall of the bowels and get the fecal matter off. Meanwhile, the lubricative laxatives are lubricating the bowel wall and all the liver ducts, bile ducts, and all these things going down through the digestive tract. Instead of giving you a lubricative like an oil, what we're doing is we're stimulating your body to produce its correct amount. That's a better way to do it. It's a better mousetrap. It's a better methodology, is to get your body to do what it's built for in its perfection. And you are perfect. We just have to treat it perfect, and we have to treat it like that. And then you'll have better results, okay? So while doing this, then we're gonna create, you're toning your colon. Yes, people's colons can be really like toning their colon, getting oxygenation to the colon wall, blood flow, toning it, getting it stronger again, getting it for its rightful size so you don't have that big belly or that big pooch, getting peristalsis to move out the fecal matter, to strengthen your colon and in your sphincter, inner and outer sphincter, and strengthening those so that you have a better resolve. And then we also are killing gram-negative, gram-positive bacteria with certain herbs. And then we're getting your bowels to not have that impacted fecal matter on them. And then you'll start having better transition of nutrients going through the bowel wall to be absorbed into the bloodstream, and better getting toxins to leave from the blood cleansers of the liver and spleen, and getting that to come out as putrescence into the colon and then being dumped out into the toilet. Okay, so that is one of the most important things. How do you take it? You take it at night before bed. You take it at night before bed, and you take it as this. You say, I'll take 1 tonight, 2 tomorrow night, 3 the next night, 4 the next night, 5 the next night, 6 the next night, until you get a loamy, soft serve ice cream-like wet cement stacked up doo-doo. When you get that, you're having proper bowel movements. Now, after doing that for a while, you'll start lessening. I don't know how many you're going to take. Some people have taken upwards as 18 a night. I know that's a high number. Most of you won't be that high. A lot of people are going to be between probably 6 and 14. Some people, they're going to be a little bit higher than that, and they're going to go boosh, and they're going to go, where's all this stuff coming from? Yeah. Well, some of it could be there for a while. There's places that run colonic places, and they'll analyze how long that fecal matter's been in there. And they'll say, yeah, this fecal matter's been in your bowels for 26 years. Yes. Isn't that crazy? Can you imagine having something in your colon that long? How bad do you think that's for your body? Isn't that crazy that they tell you that kind of information? I was disturbed by that when they told me that. It's like, wow, that's impressive. So these two are my absolute favorite combination of products. You know that this is my first. Nothing else, you take this. Secondary, you take the colon formula. You'll probably need 2 or 3 bottles, depending on how much you need per month, okay? Just know that. And when you take that, that's the green and clean. Green and clean, green and clean, green and clean. That's what you're going to want to get that to be your mantra and help you. So whatever your diet is, if you want to fix your diet, please, we'll try to help you. We'll do whatever we can to what we feel philosophy-wise is a healthy diet. That usually has a lot of history by it and a lot of things that have proven it. But I'm not here to talk about your diet. I'm telling you, you probably want to fix your diet though. Most people should work on their diet. We already know what we're doing wrong most of the time. Everybody knows not to eat candy bars. Everybody knows not to drink soda pop and diet sugars and synthetics and white sugars and white flours and cakes and ice cream and hamburgers and cheese on your burgers and all this kind of stuff and all the greasy, fatty foods and animal fats and animal proteins. Everybody knows this. I mean, we all know this. Our grandmother would always say, eat your vegetables. Do we all know that? Most of us were taught that. Most people didn't say, don't eat those vegetables, because nobody's going to say, make sure you eat your ice cream first, because that's the most important meal of the day. No, it's not. It's the garbage part of the deal, okay? So remember, your colon is the core of all problems. So you got to clean that, get that healthy. Your waistline is your lifeline, to quote Jack LaLanne, okay? If you don't know who Jack LaLanne is, look him up. What a tremendous advocate for health. Same with Norman Walker. A tremendous hero of mine, lived to 119 years old and was winning marathons in his 90s. That's what I would like to be like, except for without doing the marathons. And I only run when chased. So when you have these kind of a base, this is the base starting point for anything in a healthy life. If you want to be healthier, if you want your spouse to be healthier, if you want your kids to be healthier, this is your base. This is what I give to everybody. I was hounded by the Australians to tell me to give them a discount so it would make the greens less than $99. So I did the solution, the colon clean, and the greens, which is probably the best pack in the world, because the solution is just a mighty mouse of all things that every household should have at least one. I keep one in each car, and I keep one in the house, and everywhere I go, I end up having them for people all over the place. It is the one people should be buying cases of because it helps so many people, okay? Just so you know my personal feelings on that. If you want to know more about that, talk to the person who invited you here. If they don't know, then we certainly can talk about that at another time in more depth. That the other part that goes with this, that you have to have the greens and the clean, and I'm going to tell you, you need to have the greens and the clean with every product, everywhere, at all times. Let's talk a little bit. I'm going to take a break here for just a second. Let's talk about taking the products. You take the greens in the morning. You can drink it with juice or water. And, you know, that helps. I add a little bit of orange essential oil to mine just because I think it tastes good. And I usually use apple cider vinegar and honey at a 50-50 ratio. I put a tablespoon in it every morning because my grandfather was a huge proponent of that. And I've done it for a long time. It helps with fat loss, helps with a lot of things. There's innumerable amounts of things that it does. I do that thing first in the morning before bed. And I do this every night. I take the colon clean before I go to bed. Okay. Now that we know that, you take every single formula 1 hour separated from every food or drinks of any kind or any other supplements. You cannot take supplements together. They do not work together. You then mess up all my formulation process by putting two formulas together because they don't work that way. You just made your own formula, which is now a hodgepodge mess, and they will not work and they will not function, and you will not get the nutrition from them. If people say, oh, I'm not getting a lot of effect on this, they say, how are you taking it? Well, I take all the formulas at once. How could that possibly be good? Let me ask you a question. We're going to sit down at a 7-course meal at your favorite restaurant. They're going to bring out all the courses: salad, potatoes, your cheesecake for dessert or whatever you want, and all the different things in between. And you're going to say, I want to take them all at once. Could you go put them back and put them in a blender? They'll be just as good that way. Put them in a blender, blend them all together, and I'll just swig it down and say, you know what, that ice cream mix is really good with the salad. I like it. A little bit of ranch dressing on my ice cream is fantastic. No, it doesn't, does it? It doesn't work. It overloads the system, and it will mess up my formulas. So please don't do it. So I work very hard to make these as best as I can for you. Please respect that and use it with a good mind and learn how to do it because we want you to take things properly right before you get out of bed. So you're going to wake up in the morning, you're going to take it right next to the bed, and you're going to take one pill. Let me explain how important this is. If you get on the Fire program, it looks like this, and it will not look any other way. It has to be the colon, the greens, and the fire. Why? Because you need the other products. I'm not going to talk that much about it. I did a whole program on fat loss, not weight loss. I don't care about weight. I care about quality. I want quality, not quantity. I want fat loss, not weight loss. So this is a fat loss product, not a weight loss product. Weight loss doesn't matter to me. Whatever your weight is does not matter to me. It's how you look and how quality your parts are and how quality your body is. Quality is important, okay? So we're going to remove fat, which is going to give you more density of quality, okay? So the fat loss product first started out with 10 capsules a day, and it was working brilliantly. And I have to do what I do, and I worked on it, and I made it more condensed and better. Same ingredients. Then it went down to 5 capsules a day. And then it went down to 3 capsules a day. This last version is 1 capsule a day. You know what you get for 1 capsule a day? The same thing you got with the 10, just a better formula that works more efficiently with less product for less money and gives you better results. With that, with 1 capsule, most people tell me they get between 12 and 14, 16 hours of energy burning up their fats, burning up their lipids as energy. Nobody else does this. Burning up fat, converting it to energy, burning it at a high rate. You may smell, taste, and feel bad things you've eaten in your life. You may smell MSG and Chinese food and fast foods and things like that. Be happy, because what you just did, you just burned up some fat in the nether regions of your body, that you burned up a problem area of fat that you will never have again unless you go back and eat those fast foods, unless you go back and eat the bad things. If you don't do that, you just lost it forever. And you burned it as energy efficiently. It's like using your garbage for your car to drive to work on. And then while your car is driving to work on, it actually has better performance driving on your banana peels and your garbage and your empty can bottles and your old ketchup bottle, if you eat that kind of garbage. And if you burn that in your car and your car gets better gas mileage and has a higher performance on your garbage. How amazing is that? That's what I just did with your fat, with your body. I got it to burn your garbage as energy. Is that efficiency? That's efficiency. Okay. So that's the fat loss. Love the fat loss. I think it's amazing. One of my favorite products is Clarity. I'm going to tell you a little story about me. One of the other reasons I've learned to earn the breath that I take every day is that I got in a car accident. It was a horrible car accident about 12 years ago. And I was rear-ended at a high speed. And I got, because I'm tall, I hit the bar here. So my head hit here, avoiding the airbag or whatever. And I hit here because I was hit at a side angle. So I hit here and got cross-lateral brain damage. Lateral brain damage. And I got 5, count them, 5 herniated discs. And my herniated discs were so impressively herniated that the doctors were telling me that they were some of the worst they've ever seen. So I did make a disc formula to fix my discs. My herniated discs are no longer herniated, and thank goodness for that. However, it took me years before I could do that because my brain was not so functionable. In fact, my doctor, who's still one of my best friends, Dr. Golding, Dr. Sean Golding, if you want to look him up, and I have his book if you would like to read it. And because Sean Golding's one of the best doctors I've ever met. And his wife told me, kind of humorously, she said, we had a drool rag we'd put on you every time you came into the office. We'd just put it right here because you drool all over yourself. Now, can you imagine the person, the human, the person with a soul that's in front of you is drooling all over himself? How heartbreaking is that? It was for me because that was me. I couldn't make any formulas. I couldn't do anything. I stuttered, I slurred. Sometimes I couldn't talk. I couldn't say what I wanted to say. So the person I was with at that time started giving me 16 of the Clarity. 16 a day. And in 2 weeks, I wasn't stuttering and slurring. I was talking slower because I didn't want to stutter. And I was on a radio show 6 weeks later. And I've listened to the recordings of the radio show, and I can still tell the difference. You know, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anybody that knew me 7 years ago, they've said, oh my gosh, you're so much smarter even now, 7 years later. I mean, so that would like 5 years after the car accident, and then 7 years, in the last 7 years, they've known me, have said, oh my gosh, you're so much more brilliant now than you were then. And I'll tell you this, here's the gift. I am better at making formulas now than I was before the accident. Sometimes damages become gifts. So it's like the gift of dyslexia. There's benefits to it. There are benefits to everything. You have to make lemonade or lemon pie, whatever you want to make, right? You got to make something out of it. So 16 of these, I know that's a lot. I love the idea of 16. I still take 16 a lot of times. I'll usually take between 12 and 16. Lowest I would ever take would be 6. I made this for myself because I was found to be dyslexic in college. My second year, third year in college, they pulled me out of class because I was dyslexic, because my professor was like, I want to have you tested. And so I made this formula for myself and tripled my reading speed in 3 months. Have all kinds of autistics on it, world champion heavyweight boxer. Athletes feel better on this. They're faster. Their golf swings, you take notches off your golf game. Everybody that's tried it, tennis pros, everybody says athletically they're better. Mentally we're better. If you want your kids to read better, take things, focus better, ADD, all these problems that people are so scared, my kid can't focus. This is a winner. Okay. So all I can do is talk to you about products that are nutritionally supportive. That's it. This is the one that helps me talk to you today. This is my witness of this product. It's better than it was back then. That was my old mind formula. And I was just so blessed to have that in the house that that person could find and say, you know what, through inspiration, he needs this, and gave it to me. So I love that. This is why I love this product. I never go without this product. If I could tell everybody to take this product, if you would listen to me, if you want to be smarter, if you want to be better, if you have children in school. I love it when the heavyweight champion boxer calls me and says, can you hear me? I'm not stuttering for the first time in my life. Do you hear this? This was on his second or third day calling me. And he says, and I'm reading so much better than I've ever read. I've never been able to read this way, and I don't feel stupid for the first time in my life. Now, if I can make one more child, one more person in this world not feel stupid, I'm happy. Please share it. This is a non-stupid product. This is the product that helps people feel smarter, do better in school, focus better. Get the genius in you out. Get the genius and let them free. Give the genius their genius pills. And see the genius in your children and your wife and your husband and all these people. See the genius. You will see the genius. This is an excellent product. Another one that I love that every man should be on is ProMan for the prostate. ProMan for the prostate is for every one of us. Us guys, I'm 51 years old and turning 52 next month. And I'm telling you, I love this product because I don't want to lose any of my parts. However, ProMan is for the prostate for man. And if I was 18 to 180 years old, I would want to take this. I take between 3 and 6 a day. I'm just telling you what I take. I take them anytime during the day I can get them in. They don't have to be at any particular time. If your husband is getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, please give him this. Keep his parts intact the way they were built. Clean them, nourish them, and give them aid. Give them the nutritional support that they need. That's what they need. Another one for the men, but Superior Man is one of my favorite products. And it is to get us men our testosterone back to like when we were 18 years old at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. How about that, women? Having a man have his testosterone at its highest benefit. Now, again, we don't work by exaggerating testosterone to get it past where he should be. It's only up to every one of us as an individual to be where we are supposed to be in a healthy factor, in a healthy spectrum, okay? One guy might be a little bit higher, another guy a little bit lower, but we're going to get them up to where they should healthily be at their best, at their peak. Why wouldn't we want this? We're men. If he starts bringing you chocolates and flowers and speaking like Pepe Le Pew to you, you know it's because of the Superior Man and or the ProMan. I've had a 72-year-old Harvard or Yale doctor get his wife pregnant at 72 years old. I warned him. But it's a great blessing, isn't it? To be a man and to feel like a man at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years old is a blessing for us. He'll be charismatic. He'll be still a harder worker. He won't want to be sitting on the couch or the sofa and watching a football game, eating Doritos all over his t-shirt. He'll probably be doing things for you. You'll probably get him activated. Maybe he'll go take a walk down the block with you, down the beach. You never know. Be careful. So I'm just warning you. It's a fantastic product. And yes, you can take both of them. ProMan and Superior Man are completely different. Take them an hour apart of one another, minimum, okay? Another one that I love very much is called Slumber. Slumber is, did you know that 37.5% of all women take some sort of supplement for sleep? You know that most people will take melatonin? So they're either getting cow brain melatonin or melatonin from synthetic. And what that does, because see, we don't work this way, that gets you to stop your own production of melatonin. Hence the problem that we keep building a bigger problem. Now we have a bigger mouse. We have to have a bigger mousetrap. So what I did is I created Slumber. Slumber stimulates your pineal gland to produce its own melatonin and get you so that you're producing your own melatonin better and better. Now, it's not going to do it instantly. It's going to be gradual. You're going to have to take more at the first part and then less as you wean down. And then pretty soon, remember, 1 month for every year you've had the problem. So if you haven't slept for 20 years, great, I'm sorry. You're going to need 1 month for every year of that. You may need 20 months. Is that a good number? Yes, it actually is a pretty fair deal, isn't it? It's a pretty fair deal. And you're going to take as much as you need to get it done. And then you'll have your own melatonin production, and hopefully you'll get a good night's sleep. I hope you do. When you do, please let me know. Okay, I'd love to hear the positive feedback. Get onto our DocFlowers site. We have a new corporate DocFlowers site that we're doing on Facebook, and like it. We get wonderful ones, or on Facebook, I get beautiful testimonials on there. Slumber's a beautiful product, and it's going to get you. Now, remember, if you take corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup will mess up your tryptophan amino acid, which stimulates your melatonin production and your serotonin production. If you're taking high fructose corn syrup, you will mess up and muddle the ability of your tryptophan to be assimilated into your body. You will not be getting good night's sleep. Did you know that? So if you're doing that, you're counterproductive. Stop. Clean up your diet. Fix it. If you need to call somebody, we have people you can talk to clean up that diet. Okay? And I would recommend that you do it. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about is Happy. Happy is one of my favorite products. You see that label? That label makes you happy when you look at it. That is like one of my favorite labels. I absolutely love this label. It was one of my favorites. Every time I see it, if you go on our website, it's still front and center. The reason is because I love this. Happy is one of my favorite products. Happy is there to stimulate your pineal to get serotonin levels up to where you need them. Also, PMS goes away in like 15 minutes with 2 to 3 pills. That's pretty cool. Even the women that have PMS, they don't want it. Don't blame them. Be loving. Be patient. And then you're going to have to work with it to get it, because it's not going to be instantaneous. None of this. These are herbs. These are whole foods. They're high-powered whole foods. So there's a little bit of patience. How many years did it take you to get to the situation of problem that you have, that you're in duress? It took you a few years, didn't you? Happy is just that. Most people love this product. I love this product. If you can't sleep at night, take this 1 hour before bedtime. Take Slumber at bedtime, because sometimes it's our stress that keeps us from sleeping. So I do have a whole lineup of essential oils. The solution I already told you about. Every one of my solutions, every one of my essential oils have been changed so that they have a water-based nutrient platform melded with the essential oil platform, because you know everything cannot be in any form of extract or isolate. So it has to be where it's unified with its brothers and sisters and cousins and uncles of other nutrients. We have to have our water-based nutrients with our oil-based nutrients. I melded them together. That's what you get. Every single person that's trying my oils say they're better than any other oils they've ever tried. You will be impressed. They will work better. They will be better on the skin, better everywhere you're using them. That's what I have tonight. I'm grateful for you guys. What am I looking for? I'm looking for you. You're who I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that will listen to this and it touches you. That you want this. You want to be healthier. You love it. You just want to help people. You want to share it. I need that. I can make these products. I do, and I will, and I'm committed to it. And I will continually make them better for the rest of my life until there's no breath in my body. And I'm going to hand it down to my family. What I need you to do is help me spread this. Help me get this to the world. I'm earning the breath I take every day by making these products the best I can be and being the fairest I can be in this company. What I need you to do is help spread this word. People don't know these things exist. They don't know we have a liquid pain formula that is just brilliant in 5 to 7 minutes. Brilliant. People don't know what we have. You do. You know some of what we know now. So please share it. My goal, and I will do this, we will go to across every water, to every island, to every landmass, to every person that's hoping, wishing, praying, or doesn't even know it exists. We will be there because I have you helping me. We're going to lock arms. We're going to walk across this great world, swim some of the time, and help every single person we can. Anybody that will listen to us. If they don't listen to us, we won't force it down their throats. We will love them no matter what, even if they don't want to take the products. It's okay. Okay. You have to do it in a peaceful, loving manner. We don't work by hype. We don't work by lies. We work by truth and love. Keep that in mind. Okay. So keep that in mind. If you would like to join this team, be part of my family. I would love it. I will embrace you. Thank you. Please come and join us. Thank you for being on this call with me. Thank you for watching this video. Wherever you are, we would like to get products to you. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for being here.